All right, we start off with an ablative, and it looks like it might be an ablative absolute hoc victoria until we get to this participle, which is a perfect passive participle. So it's just sublatused by hoc victoria, and all of that is a participial phrase nominative describing our subject ambiorix. Ambiorix, sublatused by hoc victoria, does what? Relative clause, it's not there. Proficiscitur. He proficisciturs, statim, cum equitatu, in adjuvaticos, qui erant. And inside of my relative clause, right, subject, verb, who were what? Who were the finitimi, or who were finitimi, right? And really, like, we've translated it as neighbors, and that's fine, but really it's just a superlative form, like who were closest, which will explain this eius regno, who were nearest eius regno. Okay. Full stop, but neque, noctem neque diem, so neque object intermittit, and so we'll say like he stops, and then I'm like, oh wait, noctem, it's like he doesn't stop neither day nor night, really, like they're not objects, he doesn't stop them, he doesn't, hey you, stop. He, it's probably, those are time words in the accusative, right? So he stops neither amount of time nor amount of time. And what else does he do, right? He intermittits. And peditatum, here's what he does. He ubets peditatum subsequi. Re demonstrata, that is an ablative absolute. And adduaticis concitatis, that is an ablative absolute. So ablative absolute and ablative absolute. Postero die, also ablative, but not an ablative absolute. We got a time word here, right? In nervios pervenit, there's my verb, he pervenits. And what else does he do? He hortators, which is a verb of encouragement, and then we've got this ne or ut clause. So we've got, he hortators them, ne, The first verb I come to is akeperent, but there's a quas in there. So I'm actually going to use the punctuation that's given to me here. This ne clause goes all the way to demittant, right? So he hortators them not to demittant, and demittant, that's my verb, but it's going to need an object, that they not pause. Not to demittant the occasionem, object, the opportunity, and that is going to explain these things that I noticed in here, right? Maybe I noticed these genitive gerundives. Actually, this one's technically a gerund. Yeah, but this one's a gerundive because it's got sui with it. So not to demittant the occasionem of liberandiing sui in perpetuum. And I think we've seen a phrase a lot like this before, of liberandiing sui in perpetuum, and of ulciscendiing the Romanos pro eis injuriis quas akeperent. Pretty simple there. As long as I make sure that I take the eis with the injuriis. Quas is the antecedent of injuriis. Full stop. It's admittant interfectos. Oh, looks like an accusative. No. It's actually an infinitive. There's an accusative and pieces of candy. And another infinitive. And I don't know why I'm highlighting in red. Those are indirect statements. When I'm like, where's my verb that indicates an demonstra? He demonstrates that legatos duos interfectos esse, and that magnam partem exercitus genitive had inter issade infinitive, full stop. Nihil esse, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's That's also an infinitive. That's also a piece of candy. Subito oppressam legionem. Quae. This is a relative clause. And then interfici is also an infinitive. So it looks like my indirect statement is actually continuing. Like, he also says that that it is nihil negoti. Nihil, just like pars or aliquid, is with a partitive genitive here. Like, it was no big deal, right? It was no task. It was no trouble. Negotium is really like a business deal or a task, but it's denying otium, which is leisure, right? Romans love leisure, and business is the opposite of that. It's saying no to leisure. It's no leisure. So it was no work. It was no big task. It was no big task. For what? For the legionem having been subito oppressam, legionem quae cum cicerone hiemet, for the legionem to be interficid. And we would like it to be active, like it was no big task to interfici the legionem, but it's passive, so it's for the legionem to be interficid, the legionem quae cum cicerone hiemet. Oh, so we can take care of this group too, this legio also. And we saw that legio, I don't know, a long time ago, right? We know where that legio with cicerone is, but anywho, se ad eam rem profitator adjutorem, and profitator is a saying verb, or it can be like he professes. I think we might want a different translation here. He professes, he declares. I don't necessarily see an infinitive, so he might not be declaring an indirect statement. So let's see what's going on. He declares himself. And we can either make it an indirect statement, like he declares that he is, or that he will be an adjutorem, or we can just use them both as nouns. He declares himself an adjutorem ad eam rem. And then in the way that ambiorix speeches often conclude, facile hac orationem, we get this ablative, hac oratione, facile, is the adverb, right? It's not describing hac oratione, that would be facili, right? Because the third declension adjective would be like brevi tempore. So he easily persuadet, and persuadet, we should remember, takes a dative, so he easily persuadets the nervii with hac oratione. He's a good talker. And again, if we went back to 24, we'd find out that legion with Cicero, there it is, was in the Nerviis. So that makes sense. He had just gone to speak to the Nerviis.